Yay. No. Yes, it's recording from my end.
Beautiful. Welcome, Veronica. So lovely to chat to you, as always.
Yeah, the best. So nice
Yeah,
to be here. Thank you.
yeah, loving it. So I've asked you to pop on to have a chat with me because you've got something really special coming up. And I thought instead of me just, emailing people or writing something down on LinkedIn or social media, I find it's always really nice to have a conversation with someone so that we can get the feel for them.
Awesome.
Yeah, and with you, Veronica, because I know that how we connected was once I had a conversation with you, I was like, oh yeah, we're all good. I said this is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is going to work beautifully. So first, what I'd like to do, if you don't mind, my gorgeous, is just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do. That would be lovely.
Awesome. Okay. Well, hello, everybody. I'm Veronica Gallipo, and I am a self-love facilitator, guider, I guess a movement for self-love through coaching, hypnotherapy, books, writing, speaking, wherever I can, basically. I have been doing it for about 7 years now, and I will hand on heart say that I started that process for me, went on the journey because I had no idea about myself, what I like to wear, what color. Like, it was pretty sad. I was kind of living through people rather than with me. And once I started the course and starting to talk to people, I just was so excited over my own shifts that I was like, I want no one to ever be where I was in pain, sadness, heavy thoughts, just not a great way to live. And then after I did all the work and time and care and nurturing on myself, I was like, this is where people need to sit. So I guess my mission is to help people change themselves one person at a time so we can change the world in a different vibration. Like we were talking about energy before, just shifting, making things lighter as often as we can in life.
Sounds beautiful. Totally where I'm at, I can tell you. Absolutely. So, you've got something coming up which is a bit exciting, and I believe it's called the Soul Spa Circle. Could you just give us a little bit more information as to how this even eventuated?
Sure. Yeah, I kind of I was sitting with another coach, my sister coach, and about, I'm going to say 6 months ago, in regards to a workshop about it. And it was like, we go to the spa, we go to massages, we have nails done, we do self-care time, but it's never about the deep-seated soul of ourselves or the humanness of ourselves. And I was like, we're missing something. And so that's where I started with kind of a workshop, and then kind of left it there and realized that I kind of went down a path of overwhelm and stress the last sort of 6 months. You throw in renovations, you throw in family, you get it. It's a lot of stuff, and you start to doubt. You start to not make time for yourself. You start to consume yourself that it's not right and you did it wrong and you're not good enough or I haven't done enough, all these things. And so what I forgot and realized was I wasn't tapping in to possibly my breath, to possibly what was overthinking in my head, to possibly the messages I was either giving to myself or others. And so I realized that I hadn't stopped often enough to yes, journal or stop and think what I'm thinking, or consuming myself with the doing and not pausing to go to the garden or the beach or just time. So I realized that if I wasn't doing it, and this is my life, how are people going to think it's an important part of their life and they're not studying it and doing it in practice for clients are going to maintain it? So that's where the Soul Spa Circle came from. It's like, if I can provide I'm going to say, a red tent for, the old fashioned, gorgeous ancestral spaces where women would collectively, come together and be there and support. But I wanted to hold a space where people could honor themselves, learn about themselves, tap into, oh, what's happening? Why do I feel like that in this argument? So all these things that we overlook, we can get information, we can get, I guess, even change our course, perhaps soften a trigger. And that's what I wanted to create. I wanted to create a kind of a home away from home, but in your space, to come together and learn some exercises, tools, maybe even take time to write, oh my gosh, where did that come from? So learning what you can do with where you're at. And so I thought, how can I make that happen? If I need it for me, what if I bring it out to anyone who's able to be there at the same time? And so that's what happened. I decided every second Saturday of the month for a while, I'm going to turn up. I'm going to turn up for me. And if anyone wants to join me, I will guide, I will share, I will provide, I will offer tools, I will send journal prompts. I will make it a space where you get to, it's like as if we were sitting around at a beautiful table or a picnic blanket and a beautiful bunch of pillows, and we sit and reflect. But the ultimate is learning about you, for you, to find a better way to day by day.
I love that, Veronica. It just sounds so primed for right here, right now. And I love that you walk the talk, because that is, as you know, that's what I do. And that's where the integrity lies, and it creates even a stronger strength in what we do and how we can hold space for people, and just raise that gorgeous energy to really align with what's happening right here, right now, isn't it?
Yeah. I get shivers, but I really feel if we sit in appreciation, if we sit in a little joy, if we sit in laughter, you feel better. You forget things that are heavy and horrible. It's just a different space. And it's not easy to maintain. Like you and I work on it, and it still falls and slips down to old habits and what we should do. And look, as much as I'm holding this for women, I hope to create, men circles or human circles or teenage and humans. You know what I mean? Like it's not it doesn't matter where you're coming from, what you've been doing, who you are. It's really our mind and heart and body and where it's sitting, and how we can nurture it kindly to shift in a better place.
Love it. Love it. So, many people are struggling with the idea of pausing and prioritizing themselves. What do you think would be the biggest misconception about self-care that you wish more people really understood?
I really value that question, Lisa, because I've realized we should be our own non-negotiable, right? We do it against people and partners, and we set boundaries, learn to voice and standards raised. But when it comes to ourselves, and we talk to ourselves badly, we treat ourselves badly, we expect monumental things from ourselves. And I think there needs to be a line. So I've decided that I want to share strongly to start making us a non-negotiable, as in, how did I speak to myself today? What did I expect of myself so ridiculous because of some old story? What did I miss about how I was feeling because I thought the washing was important, or the mowing, or, and the other thing I kind of want to put it to is when the car has an indicator that something's not right, man, we're all like, I got to get my car in. Or when the computer decides to glitch, oh my gosh, we don't even hesitate. It is, I've got to stop working. I've got to send that away and get fixed, I should say. But when it comes to us, we are so far away from connecting to our indicators, connecting to something's not quite right. I pushed myself too far. And that's kind of what I also want to share is I'm going to be honest. I kind of went downhill 6 months ago, and I was, holding myself in a chair, not doing well because I had pushed and pushed and pushed the limit where I kind of missed things. And yeah, not everything can stop. That's why I use sharing that, it's not easy to pause, but it doesn't take much. I'm giving an hour on every second Saturday, but even if we took 3 deeper breaths every morning before we get out of bed, where we feel the breath. I mean, I know it, the breath, Veronica, but the thing is, that's what's running us. That's our fuel. If we don't stretch that a little bit, pause, where did that go? Where did I feel it? Oh, my stomach's raising. Sensing these things, starting there, you will feel and sense different things every day, getting closer to picking up indicators. So totally understand. We have not put ourselves as a non-negotiable, and that's my plan. Just any way I can.
I love that, Veronica. And I'm just wondering if I can ask you, could we just pause here for a minute and just do those beautiful breaths? Could you guide us through that just for a moment?
All right, awesome. I would love everyone who is listening to maybe I'm so bad at this, uncross your legs, kind of feel your feet in your shoes or the floor. And then when you're ready, look out to a spot on the wall. And just as you hear my voice, begin to relax your eyes. So perhaps every gentle breath, bring that heaviness into your eyes. Beautiful. And just literally, just let your eyelids close. And now with the next breath, wherever it is, no pressure, just feel it. Find the rhythm. And in the next inhale, I want you to slowly pace it out. And it could be a slight little bit longer. So everyone ready to breathe in. And breathe out. Just feeling the shoulders relax. Maybe the hands unclench. And when you're ready to breathe in, and breathe out, and just notice where your neck sits and where your jaw is sitting. Again, no pressure, just notice. I want you to take another deep breath in, and this way and this time, just allow. Breathing in. And release and breathe out. And I'm going to add one more. And this time we're going to stretch it a little longer. Breathe in. And breathe out. And the last one I'm going to count. See if you can stretch it. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Now feel your body, the tingles. And when you're ready, jiggle your fingers and toes. I would recommend putting a smile on your face and then open your eyes. Some people may even feel just from that slightly different. It could be a little calmer. It could be a little pause of, relief. And it could be just relaxed in the shoulders. Any level, any tiny shift, your body's thanking you right now.
Thanks for that, Veronica. I thought that was just beautiful. So you mentioned that this circle is a way to breathe, reset, and realign. In today's fast-paced world, where do you see the greatest resistance to this kind of inner work? And how can people begin to shift their mindset?
Okay, so I believe we've got a very powerful brain, and the brain wants to do, especially the hindbrain. Now, I love it. She's like a bouncer at a club, right? It's like, we're doing it this way, stand in line. If we do it any different, it's not going to work, okay? So that's what's happening with the hindbrain. It's kind of instinctual. It's trying to save us, protect us. The problem with that is it likes to do what it's always done. So any change. Having to move house is horrendous. Getting a new car, it's kind of uncomfortable. Starting a new, movement at the gym. It's like, why don't I just do what I've always done? It worked. So these resistance will come up with anything, and especially when it comes to tapping into ourselves. So I would say, imagine it's a debate, okay? And one part of you has sat there finding reasons to stay the same. What for? We don't need it. I'm okay. What will people think? I don't know what to do. I'll probably get it wrong. You name it. Over time, we have built a very strong argument to just do what I know how to do. What I would recommend, if there's a part of you that says, I know I need this, imagine you're in this debate and you need to find reasons to, because remember, this is stacked. This is like, girl, we're doing it this way and we're only doing it this way. Okay, we need to find reasons, benefits, pluses, positives in all areas of our life. Imagine, I start the argument against all this. Wait on, I can't do it. It's not going to work. I've got other things to do. Things are more important. Okay, well, actually, what if this makes me do a better job? Oh, will it? What if this makes me feel better and I have less pain? I would be more positive. I would actually get through the day better, more productive, more efficient. Oh my gosh, I'll be kinder to people. I'll like what I'm doing. I'll like me. Can you imagine if we start stacking the benefits on how we are with others, how we are with our family, how we might be with health, how we're going to eat better? Could you imagine if you're calmer and you're not rushing through lunch, how different the digestion's going to be? Or, if we paused at the gym and went, oh my gosh, what are they doing over there? That might help me. I'm going to be comfortable enough to do it. It's going to help you on other ways. So if we stack the argument for something else or against, like you would in a debate, no, wait on, let me pick on, you're thinking that, but is it fact? I'm going to tell you it's not, because, right? So that is a massive, incredible tool to convince your brain gently and slowly through safe ways, because that's what it wants to do. That bounce is sitting there going, whoa. You start to soften the threat of doing something different, like breathing slower, like turning up on a Saturday with me for an hour, like not doing the washing, but maybe sitting and reading a book. All these things, if you look at the positives, the brain will soften and will be happy to make some changes. So I don't know if that helped you or me answer the question, but yeah, it's softening the resistances because they're going to be there. It's part of the brain. The logic brain knows a lot more, but unfortunately the instinct of the hindbrain kicks in. Plus the midbrain's all emotional, so that gets in the way too. So yeah, we're going to love it all, but we've got to get it to work with and for us. And that's what I do. I do a lot of, I call it neuro self-love work, because it is working with the brain, with the heart, and with the body as much as we can to shift that old patterning that we think is the best way to live, do, but it's actually holding us back.
Beautiful. I love it. Now, the Soul Spa Circle promises to provide resilience building tools. Can you share one practice that has personally transformed your life and then attendees will experience in your gatherings?
Okay, so there's a lot there. I have done beautiful changes in myself, but what I want to sort of stamp on it is what happened is I got to realize that I am my own healer. I am the way, okay? But it took a long time. You trust professionals and you trust experts that, seem to have this abundance of knowledge. But what I found is they weren't me. The book didn't have a page that said, Veronica has these symptoms or this stuff or these concerns. This is what she needs. What it did was kind of box me in something. And unfortunately, over my 51 years of, the last not 7, but they kind of categorized me and it didn't work. And so it kept kind of failing me. I kept failing me because I was so distant from myself. Once I kind of found out who I was, started seeing and feeling a little bit of self-worth, I realized that the pain I sat in, because I was hip pains, migraines every day, I literally had an identity. Oh, this is going to be me for the rest of my life. You know, my mum's had it, my grandma did it. So I will wake up in pain. I will always have a migraine. I'll always have indigestion and digestion problems. From 3, this kind of developed over time. Then I experienced the power of the brain and a power of some of the tools and processes, and began to change my programming. I reprinted, I guess, my identity. And I used to go to the chiropractor, I reckon, look, 4 or 5 times a month, a massage, a physio, a bioresonance, you name it. I was desperate for someone to band-aid all my pain. But, you know, some of these things are kind of temporary maintenance. When I started correct coursing, how I was thinking, what I was believing, what I was connected to, how I attached to my identity, wow. Lisa, I haven't been to the chiropractor. I might go twice a year because I'm really bad and I'll pick up a pot that's way too big or rush somewhere. And so, yeah, I have reset who Veronica is. Her identity isn't the pain I held, the stomach aches, the migraines. I am someone in a different format, and she changes every day. So resistance, or resilience, I should say, I would say one of the strongest things to become to gain resilience is to tap in to the untruths we're saying. So let's say something happens with a partner or some sort of argument or disagreement where you kind of get frustrated. Now, our first port of call is it's their fault, they did it, you know, what the, you know. But if you take time, why did I get triggered? Because at the end of the day, it's your body. It is an indicator of something is not kind of working for you. The minute you start to go, oh, I actually didn't like the way they treated me. Okay, so what that was about, they didn't respect me. Okay, so respect means a lot to me. Okay, where in my life am I not respecting myself? Because really, at the end of the day, Lisa, if I'm not the example, if I don't set the precedent, if I am not showing people how I want to be treated by the way I treat myself, how is anyone going to know how to treat me? Okay, so if I don't know how to treat me, which I didn't for a long time, I was the yes girl, the good girl, the people pleaser. I won't burden you. I'll do it all. What else can I do? And then I got angry. You know, they're expecting things again, but that's the only life I showed them. So yeah, my strongest shift was, let's check in. What is it that I'm feeling that I'm actually not giving attention to? And what is it about me that I need to give to me? So was I saying yes to myself or no to myself when I wasn't nice? Yes, when I needed to say yes, I wasn't. I was not even paying attention to me. And as soon as that changed, people started treating me different because I held a different standard for myself. Does that help?
That's beautiful.
Awesome. Yeah.
I think this resonates very much with so many people.
It's not easy, but it's so profound, Lisa. You know, when you start to look in the mirror differently in regards to you, it's like, you know, I've got to live with myself for the rest of my life. I kind of got to be okay looking at myself, talking nicely to myself, hanging out with myself. So these are the tools and also insights. Like, I want to educate people. I don't just want to say, do this and go away. No, it's, why would you be doing this and what would you feel different? And let's check in. Did it help? What did you feel? So a lot of just gentle discovery, gentle awareness, but ultimately an acceptance of my beautiful and my wonderful, but also my scarred and my not so nice sometimes and my grumpy and my ego, embracing it all to make it work for me, for each individual.
I love it. I love it. Your work revolves around self-love, Yet so many people feel guilty for putting themselves first. How do you help someone overcome the internal resistance to self-prioritization?
Look, I guess if we bring it back to you're on a plane, and the one thing they say every time is when or if that oxygen mask ever comes down, what do they want you to do? Do you first, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're not, and especially a woman, I mean, I'll speak, tomorrow's Women's International Day, so I'll take a moment there. If we don't fill our own well, okay, and our well is empty, like we're like constantly giving and caring and doing and nurturing, and the kid needs a psychologist from you for a minute, or a nutritionist from you for a minute, or a friend needs compassion for a minute. If you're not filling that well up through yourself, you will hit empty, or you'll hit murky giving, or you'll hit a resentful giving. And that's not good for anyone. Okay. People will feel it. You will get sick. Hand on heart again, I believe most ailments, disorders, diagnoses, diseases is a disease, a disorder of our connection to ourselves. Because I have healed things ridiculously that the doctor said, that's going to get bad and you need to come back and get it out. And I was like, well, I'm going to love it. I'm going to take some time to just do what I need to do to care for me, listen. And it disappeared. Like, I know this is crazy, but I do feel that being self-aware and self-caring, it can't be selfish if the effect and the ripple is going to triple outwards, okay? It's when we sit in self-me and I don't care about you, yeah, it's a different story. But if I'm filling my well for the benefit of me and everyone around me, that is what the world needs. Like it is, you cannot water the garden over the fence and be angry and expect the plants to grow in your soil. Like it can't, right? So you need to nurture your own, I guess, bedding of foundation for it to be solid enough to cope through triggers, to cope when someone collapses, to be there for others, but not only that, to be okay when someone wants to give to you. So it's a beautiful coming and going. The self-love is kind of self-loving outwards, just about like a good, beautiful, nurturing shower. So yeah, does that help? I feel that is the message that went wrong. Beautiful. And I'm hoping slowly we acknowledge that if I don't take care of myself, no one else knows how to. Mm-hmm. And I can't help anyone else.
Beautiful. For those who feel disconnected from their inner peace or are skeptical about self-care practices, what message would you offer them as an invitation to explore this journey?
Look, I think a few things, but I don't even want you to listen to me. Like I'd rather you go back in time and either someone you looked up to and how they coped with a lot or nurtured people so well. And maybe, check, did they sit in the garden a lot? Did they, when they had that cup of tea, they kind of went away from their partner and went, okay, this is my time. Or maybe they had a bath a little bit longer. Or get evidence from you when you're feeling good, when you're a bit more appreciative of life, or when you feel, you're kind of at peace, and check how that worked when you talk to someone. The difference, that's your evidence. That's your proof that a little self-time, a little self-peace makes a big difference.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So if someone wants to join the Soul Spa Circle and commits to this experience, what transformation do you hope they will walk away with after their first session?
With the first session, my plan, and that's tomorrow, so if anyone's free at 11 a.m. Australian West Standard Time. Yeah. Look, I'm going to give you like little tools. So I find if anyone's like me, my brain loves to do overload. Like it just absorbs and it takes in. It's got these lists and it's crazy, right? So I'm going to guide and teach little tools that I use to just, let's park some of that stuff so I can either sleep better. Then I also want to do definitely some breathing and connecting to the body. I really want to welcome some journaling. And look, I get it. I had a client who literally, she was riddled with illnesses and would go to work barely coping. She was 23. She'd come back home, have all her medications and lock herself in a room in a dark space. Just life was too much. Beautiful, our path crossed through a gorgeous friend of mine who was a naturopath. She worked with her and recommended me. And we started. And she was gorgeous, but you can imagine the resistances. She was ready and keen and very committed because she knew this lifestyle couldn't hold up. But one of the first week or so, I started her to want to, get to write. And she looked at me and she said, no, Veronica, I don't write. I'm sorry, I just don't write. I was like, I understand, but if we're just going to do a sentence or two, just allow. Anyway, we did this. My program runs for 10 weeks and we did 3 or 4 sessions. And by the 4th, she's like, come back to me with like pages of journaling. She's like, okay, so this. And I was like, wait a minute. Is that all you're writing? She's like, oh, yeah, I haven't stopped writing. And I was like, no, look, this is not going to be everyone. But the minute you start to, I guess, respect that you have things to say that are worthy to be acknowledged, placed somewhere, is the minute you open the door to what you're thinking, feeling. And again, you can scrunch it up and throw it away. You can never read it again. Like there's no rules. But just even if it's one worded, or even if it's you draw a circle with me in the middle and you start doing lines. Again, there's no particular way, but it's starting to listen to what we're not listening to, we're avoiding. And that's the indicators. So I will encourage gently. And again, if you don't do it, that's okay. Nothing will be forced. It'll be guided and recommended with the intention to see what happens. Speaking of that, I'll also get people to actually have an intention, either for the day, either for an hour, maybe for a week. As in this week, I'm going to sit and have a cup of tea a bit longer. Or today, I want to see the joy in my day. So all these tiny little things is what I'll be encouraging. Each session I'll bring different things in, but I do want to kind of hit several little increments of what will help overall. And again, resistance will come up, but like anything, if you do it again, it'll be less intense. You do it again. So it's rattling our comfort zone, but beginning to see that this discomfort is an incredible greater outcome. So that is the plan. It'll be depending on the group also, because I'm kind of sensing people. So if I feel that was too much, I'm going to back it down. If I'm like, oh, everyone's on a roll, I think we're ready, then I'm going to work it. And at the same time, I'm going to do it. So this is what I do. And I tell you, I am not who I was 7 years ago. My best friend from 13 years old, she says, Veronica, nothing about you is the same. The hiding, the quiet, the no voice, the not expressing, the not want to burden. And I said, is that okay? Are you coping? She goes, I am for the ride. I am with you the whole way. And so, yeah, I want people to realize that we have light and we're worthy of shining it. And that's my plan, my aim, my goal, my energy I'm going to put into it.
I love that, Veronica, and I know for a fact that is what you will deliver time and time again. So just quickly, the cost involved, where to find you. I'm going to put some links down below, but just where to find you just in general, and then also just the cost, and just remind us of the time, and just maybe the process of how, if someone does click the link, what and how it steps forward from there.
Beautiful. Easy. So you can find me on Veronica Galipo, Galipo, self-love coach on Instagram, on Facebook. I think LinkedIn's the same. Like all of those have the same. Now, what happens is I've got gorgeous little links either in a bio, on a post, might be a QR code, and they will get you to either an Eventbrite option, which will give you a lot of details, or a simple form where I get to know some details. So really what I need, the reason to sign in is just so I can get an email so you can get the Zoom, the regular updates. And to be honest, I want to give journals away. I want to give not as a prize as every individual turns up, because I want this to be a lifelong path. I want this to be you being your true self. So when you talk to your child, and I know if I've dragged my boys here, I am a better role model because I took time for me. You know, my son the other day said, Mum, I confront uncomfortable conversations because you taught me. And I was like, did I? And he's like, yeah, I could never have an uncomfortable, difficult conversation if I hadn't seen you do them or come to terms to having to do them. So it is my presence and my giving is purely for you to also give it out, but ideally first to you. So the sessions are going to be free. If someone comes to a point where they want to donate, because I know reciprocation and that sort of thing, sometimes people are like, no, I know with some beautiful joint ventures I've done and collaborations, people are like, no, I can't take that. Can I swap something? So that can come later, doesn't matter. There's no pressure. To be honest, if I could sprinkle these seeds in people's sleep, then that would be my plan. But I can't. So we do need people to commit to themselves to turn up. So you click a link, you'll either get to a few questions in an email, because I like to just make the sessions for people, or Eventbrite, which will give you so many details, frequently asked questions, what I'll be doing, why I'm doing it. You can either private message me, like really, even, I guess comment after we post this. Anywhere I will get access to you, I can send you a link and prompts and preparation and what you'll need. But really, it's a journal. Like, really take time. Go buy yourself a $12 journal. That'll be the cost, with a beautiful pen, but also a rough notebook, because we're going to do some weird things. Okay. So something you can ditch later or look for reference later, or maybe you want to keep it in a journal. There is no right. There is your way. That is the plan. And later, if this is going well, I might create more of a coaching group, and that will come with either a subscription. I'm also launching an app soon about self-love, and that'll be meditation-based and beautiful biofrequencies. So this is the plan and the movement that I'm trying to kind of build. And I would love people to join me to build themselves so we can rise and then help others rise. Because really, we know if we sit happier, if I come to a dinner table with my family in a good mood because I've enjoyed cooking and not frustrated that I have to cook again, can you imagine the conversation shift? Can you imagine how you're going to digest better? That is what I'm saying. A little bit of light around the world in your living room will make such a difference. So I hope people will turn up. If you don't get to this one, it's fine. I will do them monthly. If you want, I'm open to doing a free coaching session anyway. So if someone wants more one-on-one concentrated stuff, there's that option as well. And there'll be a Linktree link which will give you anything, the books I've written, just to gain some credibility, know who I am, where I come from, my passions. And Lisa, I'm going to kind of apologize that I have so much excitement about this, but it's helped me so much. It's helped my boys. It's just changed my life. And if I can plant this in schools, in families, in mums, in dads, in individuals, that's my dream.
I love that, Veronica. And let's just start right here, right now, like you always say, in the moment, and allow it to expand, to flourish. And let's see that beautiful light and your gorgeous gifts shine nice and brightly.
Awesome.
Thank
Awesome.
you,
Yeah.
Veronica. That was
Awesome.
absolutely beautiful. And I will not be on tomorrow's because I've got clients all week. And
That's it.
I will definitely be jumping onto the second one. And obviously, I've already put my details in. So
Perfect.
I'll just keep on getting the notifications. Is that correct? So I can just, or anyone can just sign up now and
Yep.
then just know that they don't have to be there tomorrow. But if they are, that's beautiful because it is International Women's Day.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just to, just be there as and when they can be.
Absolutely. As I said, I'm going to turn up for me. And if I can ripple that out on the day with some beautiful energies, and to be honest, Lisa, if I can mention, I know mums don't always have time. There's sports, there's, missions, there's food, there's all sorts of things. But, if there's a collective, beautiful mothers group or a collective bunch of friends or a collective, bunch of people that know each other, sometimes, bring the kids over to me, you go do the day, the hour with Veronica, swapping around, or come together, get the kids playing somewhere, give them some food, and yous all sit down, because this isn't like, like a course you got to pass. This is catching small gifts, gems, light, appreciation, and some knowledge. So, yeah, I would get your own circle together, bring the wine, bring the grapes, put the kids in front of a movie, and just give yourself permission to choose this hour for you. I'm going to be there. And so if we can help each other provide time and space to make this happen for everybody, then you can understand how if a circle of people start to feel different, learn a few, start discussing what they learn about themselves, it's just a different world. We won't be consumed by getting fed by some new loop and fashion or Instagram posts. It'll be, oh my gosh, did you pick that up from that? How did that come about? What did you think that was? How did that make you feel? That's a whole different experience, because that's what we're here for. Life is short, and it's about those joyous, accepting, appreciative times. And that's what I'm planning to offer.
I love that, Veronica. And thank you so much for today. And I look forward to seeing you very soon. And I invite everyone to explore this. Just connect with Veronica and jump on as and when you can. It is very life-changing, and Veronica does navigate these amazing sessions in such a beautiful, authentic, value-added way that you will feel and come out of this lighter, brighter, calmer, rejuvenated, peaceful. It's just so beautiful. So thank you, Veronica. I absolutely appreciate your time today.
Lisa, thank you. I'm so grateful we've connected, and I'm here. Any questions, anything anyone needs, reach out, because that's what we're all here for, to bring that community back and help. And I look forward to meeting you, everyone. I've got beautiful people coming from Canada and all sorts. It's an online base. So there's, in your space, you can be there and present. So thank you so much.